Are you tired of feeling overlooked and underestimated? Hi, I'm Tammy North, the Introverted Executives Coach. If you're an introverted executive or you're ready to rise to senior leadership, but you're struggling to be seen as a high potential, this podcast is for you. Inevitably, the time will come when you know that it is time to transition to a new opportunity. Now, there's a lot of reasons you will arrive at this decision, and one of the most likely reasons is that you know you're too comfortable. You know that you could do your current job standing on your head and blindfolded. You yearn for a challenge, and probably one that's a lot more aligned with your purpose. So first of all, I want you to make sure that you plan to leave your current position with class. Even if you feel frustrated, disrespected, or underestimated, make a plan to leave well. Leave for the right reasons. This doesn't mean you should stay if you don't want to, but do make sure that you clean up your mind around leaving. You might be thinking the grass is greener where you're going, that it'll be better there than it is here. And I can tell you that that type of mindset will eventually lead to disappointment. There will be different benefits there that create positive thoughts in your mind, and there'll be unexpected downsides that you didn't see coming. So generally, you're bound to have positive thoughts about half the time, and you're going to have negative thoughts about half the time. And this simple act of changing jobs or companies is not going to alter that reality. So before you make your final decision to leave, I highly recommend that you find the thoughts and feelings about your current position and your current company that you love. Find the thoughts that fuel you about your current position. You know they're there. Even if you forgot what they were, there is something that makes you smile. Something that you once had in the front of your mind is something that you really loved about your current position. A few years ago, when I was in one of the most challenging roles I have ever been in to that point, and I also simultaneously had one of the most difficult bosses, even as I was leaving that role, this is what I said to him at my going away party, and I was 100% sincere about every word. To that boss, directly, I told him that I learned more from him than any one single person to that point in my entire career. Over a 12-year period, he had been my boss for about 9 years over 2 different stints at that same organization. And I was very thankful that I had had the opportunity to work with him because he did give me freedom to learn and grow. I had autonomy and mentorship, and I was allowed to lead a huge group of engineers, contractors, military, and civilian on a multi-million-dollar project for a customer that was at the heart of everything I do. It was this boss that believed in me. He put me in that role, which did set me up for the success that I have today. So even though at the end of my time with that company, in my opinion, that boss was stifling my team and holding us back in many ways, he wasn't letting us grow any further than he was ready for at that time, I actually did leave for respect for him in many ways, and I honored our overall relationship. The key to that was trying not to focus only on the most recent 6 months, which is always very tempting when you're frustrated, but focusing on the entire relationship. If I'm coaching you, I am always going to guide you to clean up where you are before you leave. Doing this will minimize regrets, and it will prepare you for the fact that even if you are excited and truly do find your dream job as your next opportunity, you will still have days, maybe even months, that are challenging and even produce negative thoughts for you. So basically, you can't chase happiness. You have to decide you will find the peace, the joy, the belonging, and the worthiness inside of you. What I want to tell you is that it is possible to find this peace, this happiness before you leave. Coaches have tools and models and methods to make that easier for you and faster to implement, but you can decide on your own to clean up your thoughts about your current organization and your current position. Okay, that might have been a mini rant, but for an episode like this, I think it's really important and it needed to be said. I would hate for you to go one of these days to your dream job and realize that you are just as miserable, all because you're letting your brain run around like an untrained monkey. So let's get to the heart of this episode. Where can you go to find positions that you truly love? My best advice as you look for career opportunities that you love is to be creative, open-minded, and strategic about the positions you do apply for. You already know you should be professional, whatever that means for your industry, but I also want you to decide to be true to yourself and to let your real personality shine through. Especially if you have a job now, the kind of job that other people dream of obtaining one day, then you should be entering into your new opportunity exploration with abundance and curiosity. There is a place where you can make a special impact and feel like you belong. So you have to remember that you are interviewing the company as much as they are interviewing you. Never forget that. You know it's a priority for me that has you rise, that you rise as the genuine leader that you are. Not to mention, if you are really going to love this next new position, then you don't want somebody to hire you because they think you're somebody that you're not. What if you get in the new position and then the company or the supervisor finds out that you were just acting out of character in the interview in order to impress them? That could lead to some challenges in the future. They need to get to know you so they can determine if you're a good fit, and you need to get to know them for the same reason. You already know you should tailor your resume and your cover letter for each application that you make. This is an excellent place to highlight why you think your superpowers and this organization could have a beautiful future together. I want you to consider that it's possible when you're doing a job search or looking for these opportunities that you could be limiting yourself through a narrow beam of places that you think your skills will be best utilized. Think about it. Over the past 15, 20 years or more, you have built up an amazing portfolio of expertise. And when you get really creative about how that knowledge could impact another industry, this is where your opportunity is to align this deep expertise with efforts that you are a lot more passionate about. Here in this day and age, it's tempting and easy to focus on job boards and online sites like LinkedIn, especially if you lean toward the introverted end of the spectrum. These sites do work sometimes, but don't focus entirely on the online sites. I mean, think about it. You and 1,000 other people could be applying for every single opportunity you find, and it's possible that you will just be a needle in a haystack. So no matter how awesome you are, and no matter how tailored your paper is, they might not even notice you. This is where your power of making a one-on-one connection is going to come in handy. So that brings us to the first really good place to find opportunities you love. Cultivate your existing community. One of your strongest resources will always be your friends and the people you already know. Because of this, some part of your monthly calendar should include engaging with people you want to keep in touch with personally and professionally. This will make asking for help when you're ready to make a change so much easier. This group of people can also assist you in other ways, such as connecting you to somebody in their circle, which will warm up a connection to somebody you've never met. I highly recommend scheduling the time on your calendar every couple of weeks or every month to engage with your circle in various ways. And when I say this, I literally mean put a block of time in your calendar that is specifically for engagement. I would recommend putting it on different days of the week and at different times just so that it is a little more random. But then at each of those times, engage with different people that you want to make sure that you don't forget to talk to. Because obviously you like a lot of people. There's probably 100 people or more that you really like. And so if you're not careful, it's possible that you could accidentally go a year without talking to somebody, especially if they're at a different company or industry and you don't have the opportunity to interact very often. This is a good way just to remind yourself of people that you really want to keep in touch with and just to kind of keep that communication open. All you need to do is send a really nice email, catch up a little bit, or a LinkedIn message asking how they are, checking in. Of course, always do this in your very own genuine way, honoring the relationship you have with that unique person. That will make all the difference in the world. The closer your connection, consider time to schedule a get-together, maybe lunch or grab a cup of coffee or something like that. And remember, people really love to talk about themselves. So if you make a brand new connection, somebody that you don't have a previous relationship with yet, feel free to reach out to somebody like that if they're in a position that you're interested in and let them know that you'd like to learn a lot more about their job. People love talking about what they do, and they're very often more passionate than they outwardly appear. So once you get them going, your ability to quickly gain rapport with others will at a minimum create a new friend or a future professional connection, but they could also become your greatest advocate inside of their organization if, for instance, there was an opportunity there. Once you make these connections, continue to nurture them and grow them like the ones you already know. And overall, just get comfortable getting uncomfortable. Once you have a strong and possibly renewed connection with your current circle, then make a point to start making new connections and build out your network. Another way to find an opportunity you love is to start your own business or become an independent consultant. Here in 2022, there's so many opportunities to create a truly unique impact in the world. One excellent way is to decide to create your own business to offer your services in the form of being a consultant or some other professional services. Especially for women, there are multitudes of support, education, assistance, etc. For instance, at the Small Business Administration, you can go to sba.gov, as well as other nonprofits that are focused on building the entrepreneurial opportunities for professional women. You just need to have an idea and a niche. Educate yourself and then make it happen. Yes, I realize I'm simplifying it a little, but women do it every day, and you can too. Come on, you know you've thought about it. So tell me, if you're going to start your own business today, what would you do? Who would your special customers be? Spend some time brainstorming that in the next few days. That's a fun exercise, and you never know where it'll lead. Another way to find opportunities you love is to volunteer for opportunities that you care a lot about. So if you're not ready to leave your current organization right now, but you think you're interested in changing industries to do something much more in your passion lane one of these days, one amazing way to determine if it's really for you would be to find volunteer opportunities in your area of interest. So let's say you're working in the medical field right now, but you feel like you'd really love working as a coach for teens in troubled homes. Then why don't you volunteer at a school or another youth-based organization so you can learn more about already existing services, so you can meet leaders in the space and then start to build a network that'll help you transition into that arena when you're ready. Another way to find opportunities you love is to say yes to something outside of your comfort zone. You've heard opportunities come up within your organization, times when the CEO is looking for somebody to lead something that's a little bit out of the ordinary compared to the normal projects. Usually, most projects that the leadership proposes align to one very specific department very clearly. Marketing, finance, HR, engineering, development. Every now and then, though, there's that one project that doesn't really fit anywhere. It doesn't really fit in one department, but they ask for somebody to lead it. They ask for a volunteer. And of course, it feels uncomfortable. You're not exactly sure how you'd accomplish what is being asked, but it does seem interesting. So I ask you, what if you did know? What if you could figure it out? This is a good chance for you to try something new. There's two benefits I see. One, you get different experience that's a little bit out of your subject matter expertise, which causes you to grow. And then two, when you do succeed, your star will rise because of it. A lot of people won't take on these kinds of challenges. And the reason I mention it in this episode is that you might just find out that you love it. So give it a try. Say yes. So is there ever a time that you should use online job sites to find these opportunities you love? Well, here's how I would use them if I were you. You don't have to completely ignore them, but besides using them to possibly open a door, it is possible they will work. I want you to also explore them with curiosity. So first, they are definitely an efficient way to find potential opportunities, and many employers do use them to find candidates. But I also want you to use their search functions to apply your skills to different industries and organizations and see what else is out there. Dream a little, imagine what is possible, and then go digging around in those search engines and see if your skill set could be implemented in a different position somewhere. And now that so many organizations allow for robust teleworking, you have so many possibilities out there. So explore and go see what could be out there for you. A few good online sites for you to check out. One is Glassdoor. Their mission is to help you find a company you love, so it's perfectly aligned with this episode. They have ratings and reviews of different employers on a range of topics, such as compensation, company culture, how generous the benefits are, and what employees think about the top executives. Then Ladders is another one. The selling point of Ladders is that it only features vetted jobs with annual compensation of $100K or more. The Ladders community is where high-end employers and high-end talent come together, so it allows you to filter by the highest paying companies in each industry. Indeed is another site. It's one of the most popular sites for job candidates, and it's primarily a job search engine. They say that they put job seekers first. It has other value-add offerings such as a salary compensation tool, and it allows you to look at compensation trends among different industries. It will also allow other users to review companies and also to provide insights into what it might be like to work for or interview at a certain company. And then LinkedIn, of course. LinkedIn markets itself as a professional social network, where aside from job listings, you can potentially reach decision makers at the companies that you think you might want to work for. Candidates can get an edge by looking at the profiles and the posts of those they might be interviewing with for insights into their career path, which might give you an edge on the expertise they may have. And since users' profiles are always available to view and the platform is used for networking, LinkedIn will allow potential employers to find you, whether or not you're actively seeking a new job, which is one thing that sets it apart from other job sites. Researching a potential employer can help you decide if you would be a good fit. I want you to use these sites to get out of the automatic pigeonhole that you typically look for positions in and to see if there's something really unique or different that might really suit you. Okay, and then one final way that you might find an opportunity that you love is to go join a professional organization. These can be a useful way to network with people in your industry. They might give you access to opportunities that you won't find anywhere else. They might also be a good resource to figure out, oh, if I'm really interested in this, I should probably learn these additional skills, and also how you would go about doing that. The site jobstars.com has a list of professional organizations for many, many industries. I will put a link to that in the show notes, but then you could also just Google. For instance, I work for the US Navy right now, so I could go Google Navy professional organizations and a whole bunch of them pop up. So, Google is always your friend, obviously. If you're working in one industry now and you are interested in completely changing industries, then you might also join a professional organization in an industry that you're interested in moving toward. It's never too early to start looking for a new opportunity. Even if you think you're going to stay in your current position for 2 to 3 more years, there's a lot of actions you can take now that'll make sure in the future when you're ready to change, it'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to focus on those kind of actions this week. So one action I want you to do is to block a reoccurring connection hour on your calendar, either weekly or bi-weekly, until you find the new position you've been dreaming about. I do recommend marking it as private so that anybody who can see your calendar doesn't see this block detail. But during this time, take some of these following actions. Think of at least 2 to 3 people that you already know and send them emails to catch up and reconnect. If you have some value that you can share with them that might help them, please do so at that time. And remember to keep these connection conversations very genuine and very personal to you and that person that you're reaching out to. Okay, then do some research for a person in a position that you would love to move to in the future. This could either be at your current organization or at a different organization, or it could be in a completely different industry. And thank goodness for technology, because this person could be anywhere in the world. So make a list of the next 5 to 10 people that you would love to connect with. This could even be kind of a dream list of people that you admire or look up to. And then during your connection block on your calendar and in the subsequent weeks, choose 1 to 2 of these new potential connection people and engage with them. LinkedIn might be a good way to do this if you don't have their direct contact information. So let them know you're interested in their career field and industry and that you would love to learn more about what they do. Do not make this like a form letter though. Don't be too stiff. You will literally be ignored or even be reported for being spammy if you are kind of cutting and pasting a template of some type over and over and over. Anybody you reach out to, make it very personal. Why do you appreciate them? What about their position would you like to know? And be very warm and genuine. That's the key. Always use your ability to connect. Always remain genuine and focus on them specifically, individually. Why do you admire them? And then when and if you do get the chance to speak to them, keep the focus on them and their position, and that is how you connect. As you find opportunities that you believe you'll love, make sure you have everything from your resume to your online image in order so that you come across the way you envision. Okay, you've got this. Now go find that opportunity that you love. I have a Get Promoted in 10 Days challenge that'll set you up for your big move. There's a link to sign up for that in the show notes if you're interested. You can connect with me at Introverted Executive on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you're ready for executive coaching to help you achieve your biggest career goals, subscribe to my weekly Rise and Shine newsletter. There, you'll find out when my program opens for new clients, and you'll also receive weekly tips and activities to continue to make a bigger impact in your own powerful way. You'll find all the information and links down in the show notes. See you next week.